Hello, welcome to D-Transit and welcome back to another episode of This Week in Transit. Before we begin, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and comment below what other content you'd like to see featured on the channel. Without further ado, here's This Week in Transit. We'll start the video at the national level of the United States. Amtrak, the nationwide passenger rail carrier of the United States of America, released their fiscal year 2025 performance results, following the end of their October 2024 to September 2025 fiscal year schedule. The numbers revealed a second year straight of ridership records, as a whopping 34.5 million passengers were carried across Amtrak's national network in 2025. Almost 1.6 million passengers higher than 2024. It is the railroad's highest ever fiscal year passenger count since its inception in the 1970s. The growth was primarily driven by a surge of interest in the Northeast Regional, the primary intercity service linking Washington, D.C. and Boston in the Northeast via Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City, and Providence. A total of 12 million passengers were shuttled up and down the corridor by the Northeast Regional, 1.2 million higher than the 2024 counts. The surprising factor should be that ridership increased despite severe fleet and infrastructure issues that caused service reductions. The Horizon railcars, which were the backbone of Amtrak's Midwest and national network services, suffered serious integrity failures in March 2025, leading to their withdrawal. This caused extreme service cuts on many routes across the country, and while the services have since been restored, they are operating with a fraction of their original capacity. On the Acela service in particular, the legacy Acela train sets suffered severe reliability issues as their age begins to show, resulting in a drop of 100,000 passengers on Acela services between 2025 and 2024. Optimism is ripe for Amtrak as we head into fiscal year 2026, though. Reliability issues on the Acela services are set to be addressed with the continual introduction of the next-gen Acelas, which also increase capacity on the train sets by 25%, meaning we could see a sharp uptick in Acela riders over the next year. Frequency increases on the Pennsylvanian, Piedmont, and River Runner will also pick up more riders, and the introduction of the first Amtrak Aero train sets to the Cascade service in the Pacific Northwest will be a huge boost to ridership. Alongside increasing service, capacity, and reliability on one of Amtrak's better corridors, it will hopefully free up more Amfleet passenger cars to be used on other routes. Let's move to the New York and New Jersey area, where the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey has released their capital plan for 2026 to 2035. The plan includes their robust projects to entirely rebuild the Port Authority Midtown Bus Terminal in Manhattan, terminal renovations and expansions at LaGuardia and JFK airports, and a whole new automated passenger mover system at Newark Liberty. However, I want to focus specifically on the expansions identified for the PATH system, a rapid transit system connecting Newark, Jersey City, and Hoboken in New Jersey, with Lower and Midtown Manhattan in New York City. Millions of passengers utilize the service every single year as a vital link between New Jersey transit services and Lower Manhattan, as a replacement for traveling all the way to New York Penn Station then taking the subway. It is also the only way to get between New York and New Jersey by public transit after midnight. New Jersey Transit bus and rail services end around 1 to 2 a.m., leaving PATH as the sole option for people coming home after a late night in the city. The Port Authority is looking to completely revamp the PATH schedule during late nights and weekends. Today, service after midnight only operates every 20 to 50 minutes, and late night and weekend service is operated on just 2 lines instead of the normal 4. The capital plan is looking to operate all 4 lines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and increase service to every 20 minutes during late nights and every 10 minutes at least on weekends and off-peak weekday times. It's the largest PATH scheduling upgrade in a long time, and it's one that's coming to riders as a huge benefit and a sigh of relief. Particularly for residents of the Hudson waterfront area of New Jersey, PATH is a vital link not only to New York, but also within the waterfront area, as well as back over to Harrison and Newark Penn Station. It's a huge topic that absolutely needs more explaining, so look out for a video this weekend about the Port Authority capital plan. Now let's look at New Jersey specifically. New Jersey Transit's rail service is primarily operated by a mixture of single-level Aero and Comet cars, as well as 2 bundles of MultiLevel coaches purchased between 2006 and 2013. As the older part of the fleet approaches 20 years of service, the agency is committing almost $1 billion United States dollars to be spent on overhauling the existing 429 multi-level rail cars. New Jersey Transit is currently in the expression of interest phase, identifying a manufacturer who will ensure the cars maintain a reliable and good repair state, as well as enhanced passenger comfort and amenities on board the trains. Furthermore, this overhaul project will allow the older multi-levels to be interoperable with the newest batch of multi-level 3s. The multi-level 3s, still in the testing and construction phase, will include EMU-style coaches which do not require an additional engine or power unit to provide traction, lightening the weight of consists and increasing capacity. The newest batch will replace every single Aero 3 single-level EMU car, which are the oldest and least reliable of the fleet. Again, this is another heavy topic, so look out for a future video on more of what New Jersey Transit's doing to improve its service. There's more parts to this. In Philadelphia, SEPTA has been dealing with a generational fleet disaster. Their Silverliner 4s, a fourth-generation EMU unit built by General Electric in the 1970s, represent nearly 60% of their regional rail fleet, and stands as the backbone of SEPTA's service. In October, however, the National Transportation Safety Board and Federal Railroad Administration created an emergency order that mandated SEPTA to thoroughly check and inspect every single Silverliner 4 car, following a handful of fiery incidents with the vehicles in the last few years. The government agencies mandated that SEPTA would have to take the Silverliner 4s out of service until inspections were done, forcing the agency to cancel 22 trains each day across a number of their lines. Good news is on the horizon though. SEPTA announced that they completed inspections of all 225 units by the FRA-imposed deadline of November 14th, and that 73 of those cars have already been returned to regional rail service. Down in Virginia, the Virginia Passenger Rail Association, in conjunction with Amtrak and freight company CSX, has broken ground on a portfolio of projects within the Alexandria and Arlington area, just south of Washington, D.C. and Washington Union Station. The current trackage in the area is traversed by a combination of Amtrak long-distance services towards the south, as well as Virginia-supported Northeast regional services to Roanoke, Richmond, Newport News, and Norfolk, as well as CSX freight trains. As part of the Transforming Rail in Virginia project, the VPRA is making improvements to the section of track around Alexandria Station. The Alexandria 4th Track project, for example, will add a 4th track to the right-of-way near Alexandria Station, allowing for more separation of passenger and freight services. The bridges that allow the rails to pass over King Street and Commonwealth Avenue in downtown Alexandria will also be replaced, as well as intense remodeling and upgrades to the Alexandria Station, which is served by the 2 VRE lines, as well as almost all Amtrak services that continue south of Washington, D.C. The total cost of the projects is expected to be around $500 million and will be completed around 2030. In California, California High-Speed Rail Authority CEO Ian Chowdhury has claimed a higher potential for a first-ever partnership between the state and private investors by midway next year. The initiative was spurred by the Cap-and-Trade Invest program, signed into law by Governor Gavin Newsom, which dedicates $1 billion of funding to the project every year until 2045, for a total of $20 billion. Cemented investment from the state means the authority can now approach private investors about their interest in funding the project. The CEO claims that pending an approval from the authority's board, private investors will be allowed to use their own money to build, operate, and maintain a segment of the California High-Speed Rail project. The private investors would be repaid down the line through both ticket revenue and state-backed reimbursement. If these private-public partnerships occur, it would lessen the project's reliance on state and federal dollars, and potentially even speed up the entire project, from San Francisco to Los Angeles. All of this, it should be noted, is pending an approval from the board, but if it goes through, it could be a huge catalyst towards completing the project quicker. Up in Montreal, the city opened a portion of one of its biggest transportation projects in recent history. The REM, which is short for Metropolitan Express Network in French, is a light rail automated system that first opened in 2023. It follows the idea of the Paris RER, short for Regional Express Network in French, acting as a commuter system that passes through the center city to connect suburbs on either end. It's also akin to London's Elizabeth line, which features a similar routing pattern. The initial branch, which opened in 2023, only connected the eastern suburb of Brossard with Montreal's Central Station, with 3 intermediate stops. On November 17th, however, 15 new stations opened in the system's largest expansion, which brought the REM westward through downtown Montreal before creating one of 3 proposed branches out to Deux Montagnes. The extension brought the system up to a total length of 31 miles, or 50 kilometers, and now finally fits the description of a cross-city RER type system. All stations on the main line of the system will have a frequency of 2.5 minutes during rush hour and 5 minutes at other times at the system's completion, fulfilled by the driverless automation of the Alstom Metropolis light rail vehicles. 2 other branches are also expected to open within the next 2 years. One branch to Sainte-Anne-de-Bellevue to the southwest of the city, and one to connect the center city with Montreal's Trudeau International Airport in the suburban city of Dorval. Once fully open, the system is projected to transport 190,000 people daily across its 26 different stations. And with that, we come to a close in This Week in Transit. If you enjoyed and want to see more content, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Comment below if you've got any ideas you'd like to see in videos, or if there's anything I missed. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you next week.